All right, welcome. My name is Nathan Pendleton. I'm with the Fat Man Recording Studio here in Lexington, Kentucky. And today we're going to create a Pro Tools tutorial for you on how to create and use a click track. We use Pro Tools 12, so hopefully this interface looks familiar to you. And here, as you can see, I've got my master track just to monitor overall levels. I've got this track that you're hearing now on input 1, which is my microphone. And then I have this auxiliary track, which has just a little bit of reverb on the voice, just to make it a little easier on the ears. I have also just loaded this up as the kind of default window into Pro Tools. Very quickly, kind of what I like to do is just go by bars and beats and minutes. I'm going to set that here for you so you can see just the bare minimum stuff here. I'm going to take out markers as well. So we just got these three here. That's going to become very important in a moment. So let me go ahead and show you. So in order to first create a click track, you need to go to the very, very top here where it says track. You click on track and then scroll all the way down to the very, very bottom where it says create click track. It's as simple as that. A lot of folks will go through track and new, which looks like this. But this is for inputs, and I don't believe you can really make a click track this way. However, if you would like to have an external click track, you can set it to be an audio track, and you can record to a click track, or record the click track to an audio track. But to do that, I think you could probably just commit the track and do the same thing. So that's a little over our head right now. We're not going to look at that. So if you go through track and new to try and make this track, it's not a good idea. You want to go through track at the very top, scroll down to the bottom and see create click track, and it brings up a new track at the bottom there, click 1. So right next to it, you see the built-in stock Pro Tools plugin called Clickit. So I'm going to click that now, and it brings up this little window, which gives you a lot of useful information. So with Clickit, you can actually have two click tracks going at the same time. One would be maybe on the bar marker and one on the beat marker. That way you've got you've got your 1, 2, 3, but then you also have 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4, and that kind of thing counted. So you can also set them to specific things. So one can be a bell on each beat. One can be, this one down here has a module for a shaker. So you could set the quarter note to shaker or 16th or whatever you wanted to set that up to be. So you could actually program a shaker that way. It's going to be a stock Pro Tools plugin, but I mean, it's going to be a shaker. So you've got that. What I recommend is going to the top here, because if you start looking, you would like to maybe change the BPM. You can't change the BPM. Everything is frozen and sort of stuck into place. So what I would do is go to the top here where your transport bar is, where you have stop, play, record, and right-click on that panel where the transport panel is, and then scroll down to MIDI controls and bring up that window right next to your transport bar there on the toolbar. So now you've got this little MIDI window, which is fantastic. And if you look in the corner, I'm going to kind of make him blink so you can see him. There is a little conductor, and when the conductor is on, all of these settings are kind of locked into place. So you can't really change anything until you lift that conductor. But now that you do that, I tend to go up here to the MIDI window just because it's a little easier. You can change the BPM. Let's change it to 90. There we go. And as I was saying earlier, how this was going to become very important up here, bars and beats, minutes and seconds, tempo, all of this suddenly becomes very important, because as you zoom in, you can now see you've got your individual bars here. You've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, and so on. So if you zoom in even further, you start to see the individual beats within each bar. So now you've got bar 1, beat 1, bar 1, beat 2, bar 1, beat 3, and bar 1, beat 4. Then you begin with bar 2, beat 1, bar 2, beat 2, bar 2, beat 3, and so on and so forth. So we will take a listen to how that sounds right now. So that's the click track right now. And up in this little MIDI controls bar up here, you can go to count off. I prefer count in, but whatever. Tomatoes. It will give you a little count off before you go into the actual recording. So it will actually count an intro for you. And right now that's set to 2 bars. So I'm going to flip the conductor back on. And then I'm going to show you the how it counts off before it actually begins recording. Here goes. So that's pretty cool, right? So you can use a little count off that will give you an introduction so that you can start recording on the 1. But of course, if you have some kind of intro or a drum fill or something before the 1 that leads into the bar, you're going to need to move that over and maybe do a little counting in on the actual click track as well. I tend to do that. I never really start at the 1, at the 0 mark, 0, 0, 0. I never use that as my 1, bar 1, beat 1, unless I am mastering. At that point, you can use that. But while you're working, it's just going to really, it's going to be kind of a hassle if you just count off and then immediately start on the 1 for a number of reasons. But right now, let's just look at, you've got your count off. That's good for performances and to kind of get you ready. You can also change the meter. So if you double click on the meter right here, you can change it. Right now it's in 4/4, so we can change it to 3/4. All right, check this out. And another kind of cool feature is if you go to the meter, you can actually, so let's set it back to 4. Or 34 beats a minute, that's fine. Or 34 beats per measure. Okay, so here we are. We're at 4/4 again. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4. So something else that's interesting you can do with this is you can actually set a location in which the beat changes. So what I would do then is using the top here, you've got bar 1 and then bar 2. So let's do 2 bars of 4/4. And then on the 3rd bar, we're going to change to 3/4. All right. And here in the marker, or meter section of the timeline, you can see where it's changed now to 3 out of 4 beats. So check this out. It's really that simple that you're able to just change it on the fly like that and program that into the beat. So that's really nice if, at a very specific bar and measure, where that beat is going to change. It's really cool to program that in advance and just go ahead and have it count. That way, when you do a performance, you can just do it all as one take live, which is something that I prefer to do. A lot of folks will break it up and into parts and whatever, and then assemble the parts at the end. But I prefer to try to get one live take if I can. I think most folks do. So that's about it as far as the basic functions of the click track here in Pro Tools. So if you have any questions, please right here, be sure to email us at fatmanrecordingstudio@gmail.com. You can also donate to us. We have a show every Sunday called the Psychedelic Sunday Sounds, where we will be doing live improv and jamming for you. Then we've got every Monday night, we're going to be bringing you a new band from Lexington, a new local band from Lexington every Monday night at 7. So be sure to turn into that as well. That's the Live from the Fat Man show. And we hope this tutorial has been useful to you. If you have any suggestions for the future, if there's anything else that we can do, anything that might be helpful to explore, please don't hesitate to let me know. My friends and I, we're doing a whole lot of collaborative stuff on Pro Tools right now. So I think that that could be a good idea for the future, how to collab and do some online stuff, because it can be a little confusing, and Pro Tools is kind of archaic when it comes to dealing with just online stuff, and a little stubborn. So hopefully this has been useful to you, and if you have any useful tips for us, if you have any suggestions, anything at all that we can do to make this better, please let us know, and we will continue to try and publish some tutorials for you. So be sure to subscribe, like the videos. I never thought I'd have to say that. And